As we've seen so far throughout James, James gives us some really good practical lessons to live by, and today's going to be no different. It's short and sweet. Today we're in James chapter 5. And let me just read one verse to you today, amongst many that are great in this chapter, but I just want to particularly focus on. James chapter 5, verse 9 says this, "Do not complain, brethren, against one another, that you yourselves may not be judged. Behold, the judge is standing right at the door." Listen, this is a tough thing to manage sometimes in our life. You know, we've been told, don't judge one another. And there's a reason behind it. And it's because often we judge falsely or incorrectly. We don't do it with the full understanding or the wisdom. It doesn't mean we don't try to be discerning of things that are going on around us. But the type of judgment that James is talking about here is when we tend to do what we call painting with a broad brush. We don't ever really stop and think and seek wisdom and knowledge with regards to other people in our lives. And quite honestly, just try to understand where maybe they're coming from or what they're dealing with or maybe the challenges that they're facing. And so James encourages us to say, hey, be very, very careful with how you judge one another, because we must always realize that the judge, and when you read it, you'll notice it's a capital J, and who is he referring to there? God himself, the ultimate judge, the final judge, the only true judge is standing right at the door. In other words, he's watching our lives. And so we remember also the words of Jesus when he says, remember, the measure with which you judge others, you too shall be judged. So go out and take on the day today and the days that are ahead. But remember, one of the things that we need to be very, very careful with is our judgmental attitudes, particularly towards one another. Be wise, be discerning, but always be careful that you don't paint others with a broad brush until you know for sure in your heart what God's wisdom and discernment is in that particular situation. He'll guide you, he'll direct you. He actually says this, just leave the judging up to me and love one another. God bless everybody.